A lot. Hey, you like mac and cheese?
It got hot dogs in it?
No.
Oh, you got the princess going on.
Oh man, no! Don't mess up my hair. It took me
it
half
was
hour.
messed. Devin and I, and Danielle and my wife. I'm about to tee off, and Danielle has a sneeze attack about this thing. It wasn't like a normal chew. It was like this weird. I'm like, what the hell is that? Oh, every time she calls me, she's crying about something. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
It was like a siren. And then I'm looking around, I'm like, are you at a Casey's? Whatever, I'm going to jail.
Started crying at 3 when I got home. I went to a funeral, didn't stop crying until 10 p.m.
Figure.
Wait, did she call us one time? She got blood all over her shirt. I'm like, what happened to you?
Yeah, that was bad.
I got my ears pierced and it hurts. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Midwest Mayhem. He is Chad Christensen.
What's up, y'all?
I am Tron Smith, and we have had nothing but fun here over the past 2 weeks. It's been crazy.
It's been super fun. We've seen a lot of people. We've done a lot of stuff. It feels like a month in a week and a half.
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm super excited, and there's so much going on that we can only cover so much today.
Right.
But we had the opportunity here over the past couple of days to see and drive the all-new Toyota 2023 Toyota Crown. And we also drove both engines in that vehicle.
Yep.
We also had the opportunity to see the bZ4x.
Yes.
We're gonna get into it. We're not gonna talk BZ today, and we're not gonna talk Crown today.
Okay.
But some of the things that when you start hearing Toyota, you can see that things are tying together. We also got to, and this is what we will talk about.
Oh, here we go.
The all new 2023 Toyota Prius.
Uh-oh. You did not.
That's
where we're going?
So here's what I'm gonna tell you. There's no one listening to this that's going to say, I think the Prius is the coolest car in the world.
Right.
It looks good. It drives good. This thing has redesigned. This might be one of the coolest looking vehicles on the market in its class, for sure.
If no one's seen the commercial, the car actually speaks the commercial when we had the opportunity to get in it.
We're going to talk about how it drives, how it performs, the changes, Toyota's direction, and things like that. Today.
I'm gonna be honest. I bark at people in Priuses a lot because of how they drive. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that anymore with this new one. I'm serious.
They're probably gonna leave you.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't know about that.
Well, it's gonna be. You know what?
But you know what? They can zip now.
You talk about the horsepower, and you talk about things like that, the gas mileage. They probably can't leave you.
Well, you know what? Let's get into it. Let's go.
No, hold on.
Come on. I am jacked up. Let's go.
Don't put the cart before the horse, because it would be crazy. It would be so bad of us if we didn't talk about the fact that we just went through Mother's Day.
We did.
And to all the mothers out there.
Yes.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
It was awesome. I got the opportunity to spend the day with my mother, and it was awesome. She loves AHAP, is what she calls it, but it's IHOP. She loves to go there, so it's always good. She's just a wonderful woman. She does everything right. She's a great, lovable mother. But we got a chance to go to IHOP, and we went out. She did some shopping, and then we went to dinner. So it was kind of cool for me to spend all day with my mom. It was awesome. Love you, Mom. Thanks for being a great mom. What about you? What you doing?
Same thing. Hold on. Wow. You know what? We didn't do the engine clear before we started. What? No, anyway,
Barry White.
I actually took on the challenge of inviting multiple mothers to my house and the family, and decided to cook for everyone a brunch. I made 2 pounds of hash browns. I made 18 pancakes, different flavors in the pancakes, French toast, 3 pounds of bacon.
Wow.
It was a lot of cooking, but you know what? I'm going to shout out again what you shouted out. To all the moms out there, I don't know how you do it, but I'm going to tell you all, you carry us. We appreciate it. We love you. You're the best.
That's right. Without you, there is no me. Right. That's
exactly.
kind of how that works.
Exactly.
And thinking about that, I've been fortunate to be around and see Diane Wilson, who we always talk about Denny and Danny, but Diane and Shauna play a major part in how the store runs and things like that. And they enjoyed their Mother's Day, so hopefully they had a great Mother's Day. And
right.
Thinking about those two, we talk about our great sponsors here. 2212
the best.
South Duff Avenue, just a short drive from anywhere in the metro. Wilson Toyota. Dude, listen, there's so much going on all the time. I'm so glad that we have a great presence in social media. Shameless plug. Thanks, Riley, for doing that. But if you want to track and see what we're doing, always, we're available Instagram and Twitter at Wilson of Ames, Facebook and TikTok at Wilson Toyota of Ames. And, of course, if you want to get down with the get down, roll with the big dog at InstaChat. That's at Big Strong. That's 2 G's when you're as big as I am. And at Big Strong 1 on that InstaChat.
You know, I'm going to start throwing in here that if you just want to get down, go to the at Yum Yum Chad C Yum Yum.
Well, I don't know
because this big down with the big down makes me giggle every time, and I feel like I got to get involved here.
You got to come up with your own.
Chad C Yum Yum.
The Yum Yum thing. At some point,
hey,
if you weren't such a star, I would say you need
once
to change
a foodie, always a foodie, man. I can't help it.
You know, that foodie thing gets us in trouble because we've been trying to order lunch here, and you've been really.
I got a little feisty the other day, didn't I?
Yeah, I almost threw you out.
I was ready to go too. I was ready to go. Well, I got the look from you. I was like, man, it looked like Nikki reincarnated. I was like, oh, I'm in trouble now.
So you think about all the things that we've done, but one cool thing we had the opportunity. Toyota Region came out. Greg Resack and Ryan Schwank and Brett Eichhorn came from Kansas City in the region, and they brought down a group, and they brought down the all-new redesigned Toyota Prius. And I would encourage you guys, if you have not been online, in your stores, before you make your next purchase going forward, I don't care what you're looking
what
at
it is,
to purchase.
Right.
Something to drive to work. We're talking automobile, sedan, transportation. Mm-hmm. You need to make sure that before you make that decision, you take a hard look at this brand new 2023 Toyota Prius. It is totally different. It is totally redesigned. And this thing, and I know you don't usually say these two words together, Prius and cool, but the car is cool.
You know what? And for the first time, I am going to agree about a Prius with you. They've been on my not so friendly side of just driving around stuff, but I'm telling you what, the new look, I almost think it has attitude. I almost think it has attitude.
Well, it's just funny this. I remember when they redesigned the Camry in 07. I'm going way back here in 07, and we were doing an event with Iowa State football. And we were covering the logos to see if the people at the football game would know what kind of car. And I remember people saying, is that a Mercedes? Is that a BMW? Is that all these different high-end cars. And I think the Prius is the same way. If you were to cover the logos on that car and just sit it out somewhere and say, what is it? You're probably going to hear Tesla somewhere. You're
That's where I was going to go. Yep.
Some exotic, weird. It's just it's a very, very unique looking car. I love what they did with the rear door, taking that door handle and moving it up. It's one of those things to where you have to really see it and drive it.
I agree with you that I think when you actually see it in person, people are going to be like, wow. I mean, like, wow. It's a car. I mean, it's a. Well, it's a surprise. It's a surprise.
So here's the biggest thing that caught me when they said the one thing that was always known about the Prius is that it wasn't real aggressive. It wasn't necessarily a fun driving car. You know, if you go back, you know, your customers, people bought the Prius because it got great gas mileage. You know,
Still
some
does.
people got it because of environment. You know, they were really environmental, you know, friendly, that kind of deal.
Still
People
is.
purchase the Prius for certain reasons when I think about Prius buyers.
Right.
They either wanted gas mileage or they were just wanted to be good to the environment.
Right.
Not too many people purchase a Prius to say, because I like the way it looks.
Right.
Right. I think now we're going to really get that. I like the way it looks. The other cool thing that I was extremely impressed, and I didn't believe it until I drove it, 73 more horsepower.
Massive improvement.
Did you remember the stat? What was the stat on that? What was that horsepower?
I wrote it down. It's like 192, 194.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
And
it's a lot more than what it was.
It's even more. Oh, I got it right here. I
Yeah.
got it because I wanted to write it down. 150.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. I wrote down 190 from the training, after the training, but I just know I was in the back seat on the test drive, and you could tell
Nope, I said
the
that
difference.
wrong. 196. Sorry.
196. Okay.
I'm reading it upside down. That's what happens if you read it upside down, right? Either way,
gets
it's just one of
4.
those things to where you really want to drive. You know, you talk about adding 73 more horsepower to a car.
It's a ton.
You think about, man, first of all, can you do it? They definitely did it. We got the opportunity to drive it. And then they also had the Prius Prime there that I was really, really impressed with.
Yeah.
I mean, that car... It's just, you know, I feel weird talking about a Prius and saying that car really moves. You know what I mean? It's like you don't think about Prius in that car.
Do you know the first thing, and this is no joke, I wrote Prius, and the very first word I wrote behind it was, it scoots.
You know what?
It scoots.
It's weird to have this conversation because we are talking about a Prius.
I know.
But that tells you how far Toyota has come. You know, when we talk about the hybrid side of things, just to any customer, I think the first thing that customers, because now it's just a new word to most people. When you start hearing hybrid, you bring up a hybrid to a customer like, I don't want to buy that. That's too new technology. Right. Toyota started making this thing in 1997.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a long... Now, they brought it to the States in 2000, but in 1997, that's a long time. They've been making the hybrid side of things for an extremely long time. So I think when you start thinking about a new technology, this thing has been around a lot longer than most consumers know.
And just to kind of piggyback that, Toyota doesn't just do something without putting in the work of doing it. Does that make sense?
No, I get it. You know, as we listen to it, now we're going to really get in trouble just even teetering in this conversation.
Oh, no.
As we listen to different commercials and different manufacturers talking about, you know, being all electric. And don't get me wrong, I think that's, I don't know, in some situations, maybe that makes sense. But I think for the masses, I don't know that electric's going to be the deal. I think the hybrid is a sweet spot. You know, you talk about golf,
right?
Finding the sweet spot,
right?
I think if you really think about it, hybrid technology and hybrid cars are the sweet spot for everything. You make a full electric vehicle, you know, you start thinking about the infrastructure. I don't know how many electric plug-in stations you see, but there's not many. We started talking about having the ability to travel. I mean, you think about, and I thought this was interesting. I never thought about this until we were in training. Let's say you have a full electric vehicle. I'm just going to take our full electric vehicle. Right. Okay. Let's just say you have I'm not going to do that. It's not fair. Someone's full electric vehicle, right? Let's say you want to go from Iowa to California.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to strategically plan your trip so you can stop and charge that vehicle, right?
Yes.
And when you do that, let's say best case scenario, what does they say? 20 minutes, 10 minutes? What was the best case scenario charge? Fast charge.
Oh no, it was 20.
Okay.
It wasn't quick.
It wasn't quick.
No.
And the reason why I preference that is this. If I'm going to California, it's only going to take me 2-3 minutes to stop and get gas. Yeah. As opposed to sitting, letting my car charge.
Yeah, and we're talking hours upon hours.
Well, you got to charge it.
I mean, we all say, you know, time, right? What's your time worth?
Well, think about full EV. When you start calculating your drive time, you got to calculate your charge time as well.
Charge times.
So when you think about a hybrid side of things, you don't have that added, you know, time of you just get gas, and then when you don't need it, it's just a perfect world, right? In a sense, I don't need to get into the
I agree with you on
what it takes to make batteries and who
when
has
you talk
the
about the
minerals.
masses too, it really, you have the people on this end, you have the people on this end, and everybody else, 90% of that basket that's full could be the people in the hybrids.
Yeah. Well, this is the one. This is why I love working for Toyota. People call me biased all the time, but I think you got to work for a manufacturer that you believe in,
right?
And somebody that they share your thought process, and that's why I so appreciate working for Toyota. Listening to these guys talk about where we're going, why we're going that way. That one of the trainers said something to me that just, I mean, I was like, man, this is why I love working for Toyota. He said, how expensive are electric vehicles? 60 grand, 50 grand in just finding the right one, maybe
right.
50, 60.
Right.
And then he goes, how many of our school teachers do you think can afford a $50,000, $60,000 vehicle? The fact that Toyota thinks about our teachers, our
right.
education, I mean, they really break it down to people.
Right.
And it just, again, I'm so proud and so I'm glad that I'm with Toyota. I mean, it's a perfect world that we even think about how many people can afford the vehicles that we're building.
You know, and them talking about those things, just different scenarios, because I was in a different group, but they were talking about, you know, what does the average person drive a day? What does the average person do in their daily lifestyles, right? And just the fact that they're taking into consideration what people actually do and maybe not what's best for them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I was shocked to learn that the average person is 47 miles a day.
That was eye opening.
I know. I was just like, that's it? Nikki drives 90. But you know, my point is, so now it kind of makes sense from everything that we were doing of why, because they're using statistics that they've gathered. Which is, you know, and it makes sense now.
They're a smart manufacturer, and I like the fact, you know, I like Brett Eichhorn. He was going over the Crown and the BZ, and he kind of alluded to just the hybrid side of things, and you know, he was really thinking about everybody when he was speaking.
That's why
I really appreciated the fact, you know, how it affects everyone, and that's where Toyota is, and that's what they think about all the time. How is the decision I'm making right now going to affect everybody? Toyota's going to make full electric vehicles,
of course,
but they're also going to make hybrids. They're also making hydrogen. You know,
so they're
thinking about, man, do I have something in the cupboard for everybody? So if you don't want cereal, you can eat something else.
Right, and they did make some statements to that point of, there's going to be something for everyone.
Yeah, well, it's cost. The other thing I thought was crazy that I think Greg Resek said, he said 49% of Americans have garages.
Right. Isn't that a crazy number?
What do they, first of all, Greg?
But you don't think of it that way.
Greg, where did you get that from? Are you just knocking on people's doors?
Yeah, I think
you're stalking people's houses, seeing who has a garage and who doesn't? How does he get that stat anyway? But I thought it was a pretty interesting, Greg's going to kill me. I thought it was a pretty interesting stat that, you know, when you start thinking about that and you start thinking about electric vehicles, so if you do not have a garage, so you start thinking about the East Coast, tight quarters, things like that. Well, you got a plug on the outside of your house?
Big cities, any of them, yeah.
If it's raining, you plug that dude in?
What about the apartment complexes?
They got to have.
They're going to have.
Infrastructure is going to be
crazy.
Infrastructure. But that's why the all-new Toyota Prius is such a big deal. Because it is a hybrid. Deal. And you have the opportunity where you have the gas side of it. You have the electric motor side of it. For people that don't understand, that's where hybrid, 2 power sources. Sorry, we jumped right into this.
We did.
Assuming that everybody knew. 2 power sources. So you have a electric motor and you have a gas engine that allows you to power that vehicle.
Right.
Most of the torque when you have these cars that are really aggressive is because that torque is it's coming from that electric side of the electric motor. So it really gives you an aggressive car. But just so you know, a little note to self: hybrid, 2 power sources is what it is.
And for those worried about the gas, it's still 57 miles a gallon. I mean, come on, come on.
Hey. 50. Okay, let me.
More
can
horsepower,
you say that again?
more
50
torque.
what?
57.
57 miles to the gallon.
Yeah.
It's a perfect world. The average American drives what?
49 or 47 miles.
Okay, 57 miles to the gallon. you do the math, my friend.
I think that's a W. I think that's a win.
So as we look at this thing and we look at all these deals, tell me your number one change that Toyota made to the Prius. What was your best feature?
Mine?
Yours.
Body style.
But no, not the body style. I already stole that.
Well,
I'm talking about you were telling me earlier.
I already,
it does this and it does this.
I know. Because I got excited about it. It was a safety exit assist.
What is it?
The car lets you know when it's safe to get out of the car. Is that simplest terms?
Yeah.
So if I'm getting ready to open the door and a bicyclist comes screaming by me, or a car's coming up beside me and I start to open the door, the car's going to let me know that someone's coming. Do not open the door.
Wow. It's technology at its best.
It's cool. And you think about, and in the first thing that went to my mind, I have grandkids.
Yeah.
Right? So now I'm like families. It's just more protection.
And kids open the door.
And kids open the door. But you also, everyone's in a hurry, right? Mm-hmm. So people hit the parking spot, whip the door open to go. This will allow, and it works through the blind spot monitors. Yep. So it allows the car to do the work for you to help protect you.
So you don't have to pay attention. Man,
That's
we're
right.
starting our engine a lot
That's
here.
right.
Do you know the other thing, when you think about having grandkids and think about the safety side of it, one of the things that I really appreciated Toyota is they were talking about the door jams, how it has, and I'm going to hack this thing because I don't remember I do not remember what Ryan Schwank told me was in the door, but it's a deal that protrudes out. But it's moving the impact away from the passenger in that car. And it's just, again, I go back to Toyota and spending $1 million for every business hour that they're open on safety. I mean, that tells you exactly what they're, where their set is. But the safety features in that vehicle, there was another thing that they added, and I'm gonna, because you're the sales guy, I'm going to throw this at you.
I have stuff written down.
There was another part that they added about.
Whoa.
Did you hear that? That was like rolling deal. So it also gets Toyota Safety Sense Plus 3.0.
Yes.
So they're adding to this.
They added to it.
So they were telling us. Now, what was it called? I'm going to ask you. I
wrote it down too because it's new.
Projected Path. Did I say that right?
It's called Proactive Driving Assist is what it is.
That's what it is.
Break
it down for us.
So it does a couple different things. Example, you and I are talking going down the road and we come up to a big curve, right? And I decide we're just going to keep going, right? The car's doing the work. The car will slowly brake to get us around that curve at a comfortable speed where I'm not doing the work again. The car's doing the work again.
Yeah.
So it allows the car to do more things to help provide safety for us.
Yeah.
In simple terms.
So when we're on our phones.
Yeah. So when most people are on their phones.
I did say it. When you're on your phones and you're not paying attention, it changes that.
Yeah.
So it allows you to do that. It also, if I'm saying this right, it allows you to, if you're sitting in stop and go traffic.
Correct.
It pays attention. It can slow you down, not only slow you down, but move you over to the other lane.
Move you. Correct. So, and I go back to the bicyclist, right? Let's just make it easy again. So we're going down the road and we have the bicyclist that's on the right-hand side. As long as the car can move over and stay in the lane, right, to go around, the car will do the work for you to move out of the way to not run over the bicyclist.
I'm telling you, there's so much.
It's pretty cool.
We have.
It's pretty cool. That's just two things, dude.
We got yelled at because this is all fresh, right? This is fresh information.
It is.
We got yelled at, and what I said, I want all the specs on this deal, and I don't have all the specs. We need to get all the specs on this deal so we can throw them out there. And the reason why, the thing I don't try not to do specs on Midwest Mayhem is because there's so much information. You're kind of throwing it out there. I would encourage you to find your local dealer, or if you're just close in the metro, again, it's 2212 South Duff Avenue.
See us.
Wilson Toyota. We would love to show you that vehicle, go over the specs. Yeah, Toyota.com is another great source. Allows you to go and find out exactly what it is. But you need to go do the thing that I liked.
Or are you trying to cut us off?
No,
already?
no,
Are we done?
No,
I got more.
I was just there, so I was figuring I would throw
I've got
it
more.
there. I mean,
here. Well, you brought up the phone thing,
you
and I want to go
point at me
straight
for?
there because you got me fired up. Now I'm starting to sweat. I'm getting all worked up here.
Does that smell? Smell like onions?
Well, I did have some
onion
anyway,
soup or something, bro.
French onion dip. Did you notice where they put the charger for the phone?
Yes.
It's different, right?
Yes.
But in my mind, when I saw it, I was like, out of sight, out of mind. That's what went into my head. It's genius to make people have to work to get to it. Why not let the car do the work for you? Hey, Toyota, call Tron.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Toyota's a big deal that I think we do a terrible job as salespeople and as sales managers and as stores putting out. There's so much technology in our cars. I wish that we could really get our sales staff, and I'm putting it on myself. I mean, I try to do a good job of making sure that you guys are really showing our customers. But if we really took the time to explain to our customers what the capabilities of their vehicle would, you know what, you'd probably spend less time negotiating.
Right. Well, we go back to the value.
Yeah.
The value.
But you think about, hey, Toyota, you think about the technology they were telling us about. Man, how much of that we don't use?
Yeah, correct.
I mean, when's the last time you really told your customer about the TSSP? Usually this is how it goes.
Right.
You got TSSP in your car. They don't know what that is.
No, they don't know.
You're right. So think about when's the last time you had a real conversation about, auto high beams and pre-collision and pedestrian detection. I mean, things like that. We have to do a better job in our industry of not just selling a car to our customers, but explaining to them how their car can really help them in their driving experience.
Right. And 100% agree. 100% everyone needs to work on it.
So why don't we? Sales manager coming out.
I would say you saw Tommy Boy break the biscuit, right? Getting all excited again.
Go with this Tommy Boy
because
biscuit.
It's so true. It was such a genius scene in the movie. Once we have sold the car, let's say it's already sold, right? When you go out to deliver the car, most people rush just to get the people out of here, right? Now, when we go to sell the car, and you've said it a million times, hey, look at this. It's got alloy wheels. It's green.
That's the walk around.
And it's just, you're not showing the customer to be honest, it's a disservice to the customer.
It's a disservice to the manufacturer.
And it is. All the
engineers and all the people that sit and they have countless hours of how can we make a customer's driving experience a lot better.
Right.
And then it gets to the sales level and we drop the ball. And you know what? I am going to say this.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that frustrates me. Here I go. I said I wasn't going to do this.
Fired up.
But I also said when we did this podcast, I would always be honest in how I feel. That this is what I don't get, right? So I'm gonna preview this. The all new 2024, I think it's coming out. Tacoma, it's coming out. It's just been released.
Yes,
okay, it's a great truck. Why am I hearing it from some guy that has no affiliate with the car dealer? Why? He has nothing to do with the sales. He's not going to sell the vehicle.
Right.
He's not going to do. Why is the sales staff? Why is the store level the last place to know? Why don't we have salespeople at these events so we can go back to our dealerships or we can go back to our region and say, this is what I saw, this is how I felt, this is what we can do.
Right.
With it.
A little bit of education.
I'm learning from some guy that has nothing to do with my dealership or nothing to do, you know what? Nothing to do with my manufacturer. I just don't understand why we're last to know. And if you know what, I'm calling out the manufacturer now. If you want us to be better, we need to be first.
Right.
Our consumers shouldn't have to go to some random, and I'm not going to use any names, some random site to hear about our vehicle that's coming out. Our salespeople shouldn't have to go to that random site. Why don't we hear it from our manufacturer? Why don't we hear it first? Why don't you find people from dealerships that are in store, that are active, that want to go out and know first, and use those people to tell that story?
Right.
I just think it's crazy. It's just frustrating that here this truck is out, and I'm hearing it from some random dude. This dude was talking about the Tacoma today. He's going to be talking about the Colorado tomorrow. Whoever pays him the most or whoever gives him the most accolades is who he's going to say is best.
That's right.
He's going to try to be biased, but at the end of the day, he's doing it for everybody.
Right.
I just think it's crazy that we're the last people to know about it. I mean, dude, their car might show up, and we haven't even seen the car yet.
Nope. Have not seen the car.
I know I'm probably getting in trouble here, but
we went off the road there a little bit.
Well, I think it's important if we want to save the industry and who we are, that we have salespeople, that we have sales managers, somebody in our region at least,
right?
Somebody in our stores that are first to know. I'm going to hear all the information from. I'm going to hear some other guy's opinion about my new Tacoma,
right? Before I even have seen it,
before I even get an opinion,
right?
And I just think that's crazy. I think we should at least be first. If you want to bring that guy, if you want to take us on Thursday and bring him on Friday, great.
Right.
But I want the first shot at it.
Right.
Every video that I see right now,
right,
it has a guy that he's going to be shooting.
It almost goes back to now I'm reactive instead of proactive, right?
Yep.
I'm a reactive person to every conversation coming my way.
That's my rant.
Okay.
My rant. And
Can
I'm
I
done.
go back to a positive?
No, I'm done. I'm done.
Because I realized I put the horse in the
I'm
case.
done.
No,
I'm
okay.
done.
So this wireless phone charger, for those who don't know, sits sideways.
Yeah.
The phone lays down.
This 2212 South Duff Avenue.
Yes.
Short drive from Inter Metro.
Yes.
Wilson Toyota. Come on in. We would love to show you this car. We're gonna have to get into this every time we talk. There's got to be more time because there's so much more to it. But check us out on Instagram and Twitter at Wilson of Ames. Facebook and TikTok puts us right at Wilson Toyota of Ames.
Right.
Did Chad see Yum Yum?
I don't know.
Is that what it is?
I think it is.
Chad C. Yum
Chad
Yum.
C. some
But the
Yum
truth
Yum.
of it is, if you want to get down with the get down, roll with the big dog, you can look at Twitter at Big Strong, 2 G's when you're as big as I am, and at Big Strong 1 on that Insta chat. Hey man, it's been great. We got so many cars to preview.
There's
like
too
I said,
much,
you got the
but it's
Prius, you
great.
got the Prius Prime, you got the Crown, you got the new bZ4x, you got the new Tacoma that just came out, the Highlander, the Grand
Grand is
Highlander's coming out. I mean, there's so much excitement for Toyota. We're gonna keep talking about that, getting going. Again, thanks to guys for the region for coming up and giving us that information and doing all that. Stay tuned. We're gonna get to the Prius Prime next time on this deal. You heard it here first.
Okay.
At Midwest Mayhem. Again, he is Chad Christensen.
Thanks,
I am
everyone.
Tron Smith. Thank you guys for joining us.
Love it.
Loving every minute of it.